I'm Kailyn Brownback.
Hi, I'm Ella Prager.
And today we are visiting the Lone Pine Koala Sanctuary. Lone Pine Koala Sanctuary was opened in 1927 with just 2 koalas, Jack and Jill, and is the oldest and largest koala sanctuary of its kind in the world. The park houses approximately 80 species of Australian animals, and the sanctuary is named after the huge hoop pine that still stands today at the ticket entrance, which we didn't get a photo of.
The first animal we wanted to talk about, what we visited today, is the large flightless bird, the southern cassowary. It's lived up to 50 years old, weighed up to 167 pounds, have a height of 6 feet tall, and run over 30 miles per hour. Cassowary numbers are declining in the wild. Funny enough, but these birds have super poop, lacking the tongue. Cassowaries toss their food in their beaks to the back of their throat, swallowing food whole. This makes them great rainforest gardeners, as they pass seeds through their digestive system, fully enact, and plant their seeds in their food.
We saw a few other birds. The first was the red-tailed black cockatoo. It can live up to 50 years old. Recognizable by their curved beaks and showy crests, cockatoos communicate using their vocalization and body language, often raising their crests in greeting, excitement, or alarm. Red-tailed black cockatoos primarily feed high in treetops on eucalyptus trees, nuts, fruits, and occasionally insect larvae.
Another was the laughing kookaburra, which is up to 20 years. The laughing kookaburra is the world's largest kingfisher species. Their unique calls, closely resembling a laugh or a cackle, echoes through their habitat, letting the other kookaburras know as what is their territory. Laughing kookaburras mate for life and establish a strong social system in which only the dominant male and female in the family group will breed. Nests, however, made in the tree hollows are permanent mounds, and entire family contributes in incubation, feeding, and protection of the young.
Lastly, we saw the sulfur-crested cockatoo. This bird can live up to 100 years old. Cockatoos, along with most parrots, have the most evolved brains of all birds. They can easily live among people and can imitate all sorts of noises, including human words. Sulfur-crested cockatoos are highly social and monogamous breeders, with pair bonds lasting many years, sometimes for life.
The next animal we saw was the emu. The emu is the world's second largest bird and can run up to 31 miles per hour. They feed on leaves, grasses, insects, seeds, and fruit. The female lays 6-12 green eggs each year. The male then incubates them and raises them chicks. Emus are found in the most habitats throughout the mainland Australia. However, they are no longer found in the closely settled areas. Although an average lifespan is 20 years, the oldest emu record lived to their age of 38 years.
The southern hairy-nosed wombat hid for a while but finally came out to say hello. With powerful limbs, sturdy bodies, and shovel-like feet, wombats are one of the world's largest burrowing animals. Their maze-like burrows can have up to 20 entrances and reach depths of 3 meters. The southern hairy-nosed wombat uses its burrows to keep cool in the summer and warm in the winter. The wombats are marsupials, which means females give birth to underdeveloped young known as joeys. Joeys climb into the mother's pouch, where they can attach to a teat and drink milk. Wombat pouches face backwards so that the joeys are protected from the soil when the mother is digging. Joeys leave the pouch for good at approximately 10 months of age. Hairy-nosed wombats are distinguished from common wombats by their silky gray-brown fur and their large square noses. They also have longer ears. The southern hairy-nosed wombat is the smallest of the 3 wombat species and can live up to 35 years old.
We saw a Mary River turtle, which honestly looked like any other turtle. This is a freshwater turtle and is endangered. These turtles can breathe underwater using their special air sacs near their bottoms.
One of the cooler animals we saw was the platypus. They live up to 16 years old, but in captivity can live up to 21 years of age. Identifiable by a streamlined body, webbed feet, broad tail, and rubbery bill, which contain no true teeth. The double layer of fur provides waterproofing and insulation. The platypus is a solitary animal, only coming together to mate. Generally, leave burrows around dusk, forage at night, and return around dawn.
We saw a dingo and he just looked sad. The dingo is a medium-sized dog weighing between 25 and 50 pounds. Males are usually heavier than females. The dingo is an opportunistic predator feeding upon other mammals such as kangaroos, wallabies, rabbits, rodents, sheep, and cattle. Dingoes are the largest carnivorous animals in Australia. Although often seen alone, dingoes are social animals and usually belong to a pack. Dingoes are considered a native dog of Australia. However, it is not a truly native species. Fossils, archaeological Evidence strongly suggests that dingoes arrived in Australia between 3,000 to 4,000 years ago in Asian settlers on boats.
We saw the third most venomous snake in the world, the coastal taipan. With 12mm long fangs, the longest of any Australian elapid, the coastal taipan can strike with lightning speed and may bite 2 to 3 times in quick succession, delivering a lethal dose of venom with every bite. It lives up to 15 years and can grow to be almost 9 feet long.
We also saw something called the lace monitor. Lace monitors are sometimes called the tree iguana due to their exceptional climbing abilities. If alarmed, they are quickly likely to climb up the nearest tree using their powerful claws. They grow up to 6 feet long.
The first exhibit we visited was the estuarine crocodile. I think that's how you pronounce it. Despite having a relatively small brain for their body size, about the size of a walnut, estuarine crocodiles are intelligent creatures capable of complex behaviors such as advanced parental care, communication, and teamwork while hunting. They can even put half of their brain to sleep while the other half stays awake to watch their prey and threats. They can live up to over 100 years old and grow to over 7 meters or 21 feet long. Crocodiles once roamed the earth with the dinosaurs. Their snout-armored scales, sharp teeth, and webbed hind feet have remained unrelatively changed for over 200 million years. Found throughout rivers, creeks, and wetlands of northern Australia, freshwater crocodiles are well adapted to amphibious life. They can hold their breath underwater for up to an hour and swim rapidly by using their powerful tails. On land, they move very quickly over short distances and can propel themselves at great speed down sloping riverbanks and the water. As a reptile, crocodiles cannot sweat to maintain their body temperature. Instead, they cool down by making their way to the water or sitting with their jaw open, allowing the cool air to pass over the skin of their mouth. Lone Pine is home to freshwater crocodiles, which are smaller than their saltwater relatives. They're recognized by their long, narrow snout. Although generally inactive during the day, freshwater crocodiles are ambush predators by night, feeding on insects, fish, frogs, lizards, and birds. Despite appearances, turtles and birds are more closely related to crocodiles than lizards. The most recognizable animal in Australia is the kangaroo, and we visited their habitat. It was a cool experience where we got to enter their habitat and even feed them. There were 2 different types of kangaroos for us to see, the red kangaroo and eastern grey kangaroo. The red kangaroo with males reaching up to a height of 6 feet. The red kangaroo is the largest living marsupial and the largest terrestrial mammal in Australia. Red kangaroos can be found throughout the arid and semi-arid regions of mainland Australia. As herbivores, red kangaroos feed mostly on grasses, but will also eat shoots and leaves from shrubs. Red kangaroos can go long periods without drinking water and can get all the moisture they need from their food if needed. Eastern grey kangaroos are iconic Australian species that can be found across the eastern states, including Tasmania. They are primarily a grazing animal and can often be found in areas where grass is abundant, from open woodlands to grasslands. They are also commonly found around campsites and golf courses where food is plentiful. Kangaroos are most active early morning and late afternoon and rest during the heat of the day. Eastern grey kangaroos are social animals and congregate in groups called mobs that can range in size from over 10 to over 100 kangaroos. Within the mob, there will be multiple breeding females and young males, with one dominant male who will have exclusive breeding access from the females. Dominance within the mob is established through fighting and sparring among the males.
We also saw some wallabies in the habitat. We saw both swamp and redneck wallabies. Swamp wallabies are found along the eastern coast of Australia and prefer to live in the thick forests, undergrowth woodlands, and swampy areas. Their dark brown fur helps them to camouflage in their shadowy habitat. Swamp wallabies are herbivores, feeding on plants such as fern, leaves, shrubs, and grasses. Redneck wallabies are found in dry open forests, grasslands, roadside fergus, paddocks, and backyard along coastal eastern Australia, and even in the islands of the state Tasmania. They have mostly gray bodies with the dusting of rust-colored furs around their shoulders, with black noses, hands. Red-necked wallabies and herbivores, feeding mostly on grasses, roots, and leaves.
Last but not least, we saw a lot of koalas, both northern and southern koalas. Although a common misconception, koalas are not bears. Koalas are marsupials, meaning they have a pouch and give birth to underdeveloped young, known as joeys. Koalas have a specialized diet of eucalyptus trees, eating approximately 50 of 800 species that grow in Australia. Eucalyptus is low in nutrition, so koalas sleep and rest 18 to 20 hours a day to conserve energy. Although low in nutrition, the leaves do have high water content, so koalas rarely need to drink from alternate water sources. One koala will consume up to 500 grams of leaf per day. Koalas' hands and feet have long, sharp claws and thick pads for cushioning, with 3 fingers and 2 opposite thumbs on their front paws. They have fantastic grip for climbing. Koalas have thick fur on their bottoms, which act like a cushion between them and their tree branch. Their bottoms are also made of bony cartilage to make sitting on branches as comfortable as possible. Koalas have white specks or spots on their bottoms, which act as camouflage when up in a tree. Each koala's spots are unique, also making it one way we can tell our koalas apart. Koalas also have fingerprints, just like us humans. Each koala's prints are unique. Koalas communicate by making a deep growling or grunting noise, known as a bellow. A koala's bellow can be heard up to 800 meters away. Although there is only one species of koala, southern koalas are much larger, weighing up to 20 pounds for females and 33 pounds for males. Instead of short fur, they have longer and denser coat, usually brown-gray, predominantly to keep them warm in the southern winter months. Outside of physical differences, both variations of koalas are very similar in terms of breeding and reproduction, diet, and behavior.
Thanks for joining us on our adventure!